So my husband Ryan and I, we physically built our home. I understand that it's crazy, and I've been living this crazy building your own home life for just over 2 years. We built our house during COVID. What ended up happening is that there was price increases on everything because of supply chain problems, and lumber was almost double what we had imagined our home would be. And then there were weird nationwide shortages of things like drywall mud. You couldn't get drywall mud for weeks. And so we looked at our house, and we looked like we wanted to do, what we thought we could afford. And then we decided, because, we didn't know what was going to happen through COVID, that we would just do a lot of the work ourselves to make sure that we could keep our house in our budget. And so we cleared the lot. That's right. I know how to use a chainsaw. We cleared the lot. We installed all the cabinets, all the flooring, all the tile backsplashes, all the tile in the bathroom, the showers, all of those things. We put in the sinks, those kinds of things. We built the deck. We did all the insulation for our house, and we graded the entire outside, and we rolled the sod onto the ground. We did all kinds of things. And we've been living in this house building project for literally 2.5 years. And here's the truth. Our house is not done. Our house is not done. There are some weird little things that just haven't quite been finished yet. It's just undone. Things like the steps down from the back deck, or a couple of pieces of trim in the basement, or a second coat of paint in some of the bedrooms. Today in Exodus, we're going to talk about, and we're going to look and see if the tabernacle that the Israelites are building has better luck than my house. Well, here, you made it all the way through Exodus. Pat yourself on the back, applaud yourself, congratulations. Today we are looking at the last two chapters 39 and 40. You see, it all starts about the priests, the priestly garments that are going to be worn in the tabernacle as you kind of go into the inner rooms before you go to where the Ark of the Covenant is, in absolutely the center of that tabernacle. And they start describing what the priests are going to wear, and honestly, it's pretty extravagant. What's really interesting about this part, besides the extravagance of what the priests are going to wear, is who gets to wear them. So if you remember, just a few chapters ago, Moses' brother Aaron, while Moses was up talking to God on Mount Sinai, Moses' brother, the people got unruly, and so he decided to build a golden calf for them to worship instead of God. But now here in chapter 39, the people that get to wear these ornate priestly garments, the people that get to serve in the innermost parts of the tabernacle, it's Aaron. It's Aaron and his sons. And it goes even farther. They say that Aaron and his sons, they will be anointed and consecrated to serve God as priests, not just now, but then it says for a perpetual priesthood through all generations. I love that, the juxtaposing between Aaron creating a false god to now Aaron and all of his generations to come serving the real God as priests. It seems to me that God's not done with Aaron's story yet. And then it goes on to say that Moses did, in fact, finish the work that God invited him to do. Congratulations, Moses. You did better than my house. Now, this tabernacle, all the things in it, just remember that they are mobile, because this temporary structure is what they're going to be moving around till eventually they finally build a temple in Jerusalem. But this tabernacle, it's mobile so that the Israelites can take it wherever they go. And God is accompanying the people the whole time they're on those travels. Friends, we have had this huge travel through the book of Exodus, starting when those midwives decided to disobey the Pharaoh's order to kill the baby boys, and instead they put that little baby boy Moses in a basket and sent him into the reeds, where he was drawn out by the Pharaoh's daughter, to the time that Moses went and he killed an Egyptian as an adult, and he fled into the wilderness when God found him by a burning bush that was not consumed, to the time when Moses was sent back into Egypt to return, and then all of these plagues of gnats and flies and boils before finally Pharaoh agreed to let God's people go. And as they go to the Red Sea, then it opens, and the Israelites, they go across, the millions of them, before the Pharaoh panics and sends his chariots after them. But when the Red Sea closes itself back up, that's when the Egyptians are drowned. And then the manna and quail that God provides for God's people in the midst of the wilderness. God makes sure that they have enough. And then God gives them some structure. God gives them some commandments so that they can learn how to be people together, how to be freed people who are not ruled by a Pharaoh, but people who can care for and love each other through the 10 Commandments. But then Aaron gets nervous, and so he tries to bring him back to Egypt and makes this golden calf before they break the 10 Commandments, and Moses has to go get another set of tablets. To the time when now they have built this tabernacle, this big altar to God that's going to go with them wherever they go, where God will sit on the mercy seat of the Ark of the Covenant. Guys, what an incredible journey you have taken through the book of Exodus, through all of it. The biggest things I think we can take away is that God is faithful. God is always faithful. Moses isn't always faithful. Aaron's not always faithful. Miriam's not always faithful. But God is consistent and always faithful. And that is what we get to learn from the story of Exodus. So here are my questions for you today. Number 1, where's God been faithful to you? And number 2, how does the faithfulness of God lead us out of our own slavery and into freedom? Thanks so much for joining us. We're so honored that you have studied Exodus with us, The Road to Freedom.